So here we are, October 22nd, and the topic is, what's next? I don't know. And I'm told this is a Vi Hamilton catchphrase. For those of you who may not know, Vi Hamilton is one of our spiritual matriarchs of this community. Her and Anola Charity, both of them. Now, Vi passed probably about a year and a half, and actually today is like the anniversary of Anola's passing. And it just kind of came, that wow, those women were the powerhouses, spiritual powerhouses for this community. And it's really interesting when our soul decides our work is done here on this planet. And for both of these women, this community meant a lot to them. And I really take that as a privilege that they have chosen to pass on because they knew that this community is in good hands with all of us, that their work was complete. But one of the things I really love is that they were comfortable being in the question, being in the unknown. It wasn't frightening for them as it is for so many of us. We spend our lives learning that we have to have a plan. What's your plan? What's your plan after high school? What's your plan after college? How are you going to get there? You have to have your goals. And how many hundreds of self-help books are there that tell you how to effectively set your goals and your plans to be successful? And while that is all wonderful, we all know that life happens in the midst of our plans, in the midst of our goals. And wouldn't it be wonderful if we were able to shift the paradigm of our goals not coming into what we think they look like, but allowing that time of unknowing and being in the question as the time of birthing, of the time of allowing God, the universe, allness to be present with you and through you. Allowing that expansiveness to happen in more possibilities than you could ever imagine on your own. That's the gift of being in the question. And so today, that's what we're going to work on. How do we be in the question? As I mentioned just a few moments ago, I was on a retreat, and it was a stillness retreat. First of all, I'm like, stillness, minister, not going together. And one of my professors who I really love is Robert Brummett, and I've convinced him to come next month as a speaker, so I'm super excited about that. He's written several books that Unity has used as primers for classes. Yes, it took a lot of begging, but I was okay with that. But he gives an annual silent retreat, and he's in the Buddhist tradition. So you just sit there. Oh my gosh. And you just sit there in that silence. And you just sit there in that silence. Did I tell you, you just sit there in the silence for like 2 days? And after that retreat, I said, oh my God, I could never do this again. It's just not me. It's good to know what we can't do, right? So Paulette, who I knew from being in seminary, and she's on campus all the time, she has these annual silent retreats, and I'd be like, okay, bless you, not going. And then I kept bumping into her a lot. We had her out for our board retreat. She came out and was one of the facilitators for us, which she sends her love back to the board. She really had a lovely time with us. And we were talking. She's like, how come you don't come to my retreat? I'm like, it's a silent retreat. I don't do well with those. I just realized I don't do well with those. And she's like, this is really different. Try it. She blessed me with a scholarship. So of course I'm going, Tina. That's right, I'm going. Yep. No excuses now. So I go, and it was amazing. There was silence in yoga practice. There was silence in dancing. There was silence in mandalas. There was silence in journaling. Oh my God, it was so rich and powerful. What a shift for me. And so today I want to bring some of that richness back. That's the other reason you want your ministers to go away, is because we get shifted and we bring that back here. So today's service is going to be much more contemplative. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this wonderful poem that I found by Rainer Marie Rilke, who is known as one of the greatest German poets of the 20th century. And it's a letter that he wrote to another poet about living in the question. So I'm going to read that, and I'm going to ask you to just allow the words to kind of wash over you and through you. And then what we're going to do together is we're going to do some contemplation on the last paragraph of that poem. I want to make sure, does everyone have one of those sheets? Were you given one of these sheets? Looks like this. If not, just raise your hand and the usher will bring one. I see 2 people, 3, 4 people, 5. Just keep your hands up until the usher gives it to you. I just want you to have this, because this is what we'll work on. Thank you. So if you're ready, just be comfortable and just allow my words to flow over you. And these are Rainer's words. Live the questions now. In the great silence of these distances, I am touched by your beautiful anxiety about life. Even more than I was in Paris, where everything echoes and fades away differently because of the excessive noise that makes things tremble. Here, where I am surrounded by enormous landscape, which the winds move across as they come from the seas, here, I feel that there is no one anywhere who can answer for you those questions and feelings which in their depths have a life of their own. For even the most articulate people are unable to help, since what words point to is so very delicate, is almost unsayable. But even so, I think that you will not have to remain without a solution if you trust in things that are like the ones my eyes are now resting upon. If you trust in nature, in the small things that hardly anyone sees and that can so suddenly become huge, immeasurable. If you have this love for what is humble and try very simply, as someone who serves, to win the confidence of what seems poor, then everything will become easier for you, more coherent, and somehow more reconciling. Not in your conscious mind, perhaps, which stays behind astonished, but in your innermost awareness, awakeness, and knowledge. I want to beg you, dear sir, as well as I can, to have patience with everything unresolved in your heart, and to try to love the questions themselves, as if they were locked rooms or books written in a very foreign language. Don't search for the answers, which could not be given to you now, because you would not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything. Live the questions now. Perhaps then someday far in the future, you will gradually, without even noticing it, live your way into the answer. Perhaps you do carry within you the possibility of creating and forming as an especially blessed and pure way of living. Train yourself for that, but take whatever comes with great trust. And as long as it comes out of your will, out of some need of your innermost self, then take it upon yourself. Powerful words, aren't they? Yes, to be in the question. And as I was doing this, what was really interesting is I decided, so I'm writing a book now. Never on my radar, and it's going to be a journaling book. And it's going to be entitled Living in the Question, Finding Joy in the Journey. And it'll be a journaling process that will have all just about questioning and some meditative practices to get there. So hopefully this will manifest somewhere soon. I'm not sure how it looks yet, but there we have it. All right, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to take out that sheet. And if you don't have a pen, there's pens in front of you on the seat in front of you. And I suggest that you fold the sheet in quarters so that you'll have a stronger thing to write on. It'll become sturdier. And what you'll notice is I have put this in 4 sections. The first section is called memory questions. And memory questions have to do with questions from your past. Maybe questions of past relationships or your childhood, or something in the past. The dreaming questions are questions that are, what are your dreams for the future? So they're much more in the future tense. Then on the lower left are questions of the unknown. And those are questions that you're dealing with right now that are happening or populating in your life right now, such as maybe it's what's my life purpose? How do I find that? Where's my next job? What's happening with this relationship I'm in? Those types of things. And then the last section over there is worthiness questions. Those are questions you may have about who you are, what your talents are you worthy of love, of being lovable? Those types of questions. And you'll see in each of these categories, there is blank space right underneath, and then it has love, being, and live. So what I'm going to ask you to do right now, it doesn't matter what category you choose, we're only asking for one question. So I'm going to ask you to breathe in a moment and just allow that question to bubble up and write it wherever you choose to. Do not go below the line that says love, because then we're going to do something in that section. Any questions? Okay. So let's just align ourselves, be comfortable in our chairs, have our spine erect, feet on the ground if possible. Allow yourself to be grounded in Mother Earth as you do this powerful work. So I invite you to take that deep breath in and release it. I'm going to ask you to take another deep breath in, breathe in, hold it, and then as you release, sigh it out. And I'm going to ask that you allow a question that you're dealing with to just bubble up into your consciousness. And when it arises, write it down. We only need one, but if you're like me and there's nothing but questions, that's okay. Just keep writing until I go, time. So just one question that's bubbling up for you right now that you're living into. You don't have to deliberate. It's not about solving world peace or hunger. Just one question. Just allow it to be there. Does everyone have something? Okay. Jesse, I saw you shake your head.
I don't.
You don't? Okay. Do you need a couple of seconds?
Yeah.
Okay.
10.
10 seconds, you got that. Once you have that question, I invite you to close your eyes, to follow your breath, to allow Holly's music to flow over you, my words to reach within you. And as you breathe, I invite you to focus on your heart space, your heart chakra, which is located right in the center of your chest. And breathe into that. And as you breathe in and out of your heart center, I want you to imagine someone or something that brings you immense love and joy. It may be an animal that loves you unconditionally, a partner, a particular place, the ocean, the mountains, whatever it is. Allow that to be in your heart space and feel that love. Allow it to expand within your body and allow that feeling of love to flow through your system. And I want you to stay with this feeling and feel it. Stay in this meditative state as you open your eyes, and in the section that says love, write down, how does this question differ from a place of love? How does this question differ? What does it look like when you look at that question from a place of love? And write your response in the love section. So when the feelings of love is permeating through my every being, my every pore, and I look at that question that I've written, how does it get transformed, transmuted, shifted? And staying in that meditative state, once you're finished writing that down, I invite you to close your eyes again and follow your breath. Follow your breath and allow that feeling of immense love to go up through your throat chakra, your mind chakra, your crown chakra. See that as energy of white light just pulsating from your crown all the way up, through the ceiling, through the atmosphere, through the stars, through the systems, to source. And know in this moment that you are infinite being. You are a part of everything that ever was, everything that ever is, everything that ever will be. It's all a part of you. Feel the immensity of who you truly are. And breathe into that. There is nothing for you to do, nothing for you to accomplish, nothing for you to understand. You are allness, infinite being. And in that knowing, I invite you to open your eyes again, staying connected to that sense of infinite being. And in the area where it says being, I invite you to write, how is that question transmuted again from the knowing that you are infinite being. You are allness. In allness, there's a sense of expansiveness, and what was finite becomes infinite. And once again, when you have written, close your eyes and be with that feeling of infinite being. And breathe. And from that space of infinite being, I invite you to bring your energy back into your body, into this present moment. Fully enjoy in the allness of this moment, this incarnation that you have said yes to. Feel that. Feel the joy of being in a comfortable atmosphere, the air softly flowing around you, the chairs supporting you, the soft clothes against your skin. And I invite you to open your eyes, and in that section that says live, how does that question change when you are full of life, full of the present moment, the allness of this present moment, a moment like none other? How does that question shift? What does it feel like from this aspect of yourself? And when you have your answer, I invite you to close your eyes again, to stay in this sense of space of meditation, of contemplation, of allowing. As Millie takes us to the place of preparing us for a full meditation.